Joe Rogan is leaving YouTube for Spotify. Tom, let's talk about that.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, this is obviously a big deal for
Huge.
Spotify, big deal for Joe Rogan. It's believed to be $100 million deal, bringing Joe Rogan over there. And, yeah, I guess if you want to hear a meatbag douchebag opine about the daily topics,
Whoa!
you can, go over and
Whoa!
get a Spotify account.
Whoa!
Listen to some Joe
Tom,
Rogan.
what the hell?
I had no clue that
Tommy!
you had that feeling about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, me too, bro. Damn.
Oh, Joe Rogan sucks.
Whoa,
I'm
wait a
sorry,
second.
man.
Hold
Want
up.
me to-
Hold up. Time out. Skirt.
Yeah.
Pause button. Please, Tom, tell me why you don't like Joe Rogan suddenly. This is not suddenly, but
It's
this is
not
a surprise.
Suddenly. This has been a while. I used to listen to his podcast when it first came out, like 10 years ago or whatever. But after a while, it's just like, why am I listening to this meathead talk about, stuff in the most basic way? I don't know. He's all into that whole spiritual inner journey kind of stuff with the spirit molecule and the DMT.
I'm done.
It's like, seriously, if ultimate enlightenment looks like Joe Rogan, count me out. I'll just be a moron.
Wow.
He's such a douche. I mean, if you look up douchebag in the dictionary, you're going to see Joe Rogan's dumb smiling face there.
Homie, okay, first off. No, hold up. Oh my God. Okay, first off,
Strong feelings.
that's some seriously strong feelings, and I think that there's gonna be a lot of people that are just gonna run
through you on this because people believe that Joe Rogan is life. I mean, he literally is Oprah for men. I'm not kidding. He is literally like the Oprah for the alpha male.
Douchebags.
I don't see
Oprah
it.
for douchebags.
I personally don't think he's a douchebag. Personally, I think he's really, really great. I think he's a great conversationalist. I don't think he's a great interviewer, but I think he's really good at getting people to talk and just have conversations with him. But I don't know. There's some questions that I have in regards to his approach and what he does, because it's like, all right, do people open up to him and talk to him because he's Joe Rogan and he has those millions and millions of downloads and millions and millions of followers? Or do people actually open up to him and have a conversation with him about things because he's actually good at what he does? Those are the two questions. It's kind of like the chicken or the egg in a way, because you can be a really great conversationalist and have no followers and no downloads whatsoever. And you could be the worst interviewer, the worst conversationalist, have millions of followers, and have millions of people, like millions of celebrities coming through your show. So that's one of the questions I have, because I'm telling you, my entire trip, I listened to three Joe Rogan podcasts, one on the way there and two on the way back. No. Now the reason was because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Joe Rogan. I mean, he is at a level that I'd like this show to aspire to. So he's an inspiration. Now, his approach, he's like Howard Stern for podcasts, literally. And the thing is I mean, yeah, it's not like he's putting on porn stars and then not like riding sex machines and all that kind of stuff. I get that. He's not shock jock, but people really do enjoy his conversations, and the people that he has on the show are tremendous. So the deal that he got makes total sense. It could be the Joe Smith show. It doesn't freaking matter. If you're having from Tony Hawk to I'm trying to think of somebody else right now. I'm drawing a blank. You go
Trump
from
Jr.
Donald Trump Jr. to like
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Tom. Those, like, for example, he spans the globe. He spans genres. So if you don't like Tony Hawk or don't even know who the hell he is, wait a day. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you don't like the weather? Give it a second, as Jack just said a couple days ago. It's the exact same thing with Joe Rogan's show. He could have Kevin Hart. The next thing you know, he has Will Ferrell. He hasn't done that yet, but you know what I'm saying?
DeGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, and he holds up.
What's his name?
And he
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but then it's like he holds up conversations. Like he can actually hold an intelligent conversation with Neil deGrasse Tyson or whatever his name is. Neil, whatever. I just called him a kid TV show. But you know what I'm saying? Neil deGrasse Tyson, or Mike Tyson. That's the one I listened to on the way back into town. I listened to the entire. I was like, I'm going to sit through this one because they're so damn long. But it was interesting. And the stories you get and the conversation that he's having, it's dope. It's like he's just sitting there chilling. Like it's just like you're sitting with him at dinner, for crying out loud. So his approach is really amazing. So the fact that he's got like he didn't disclose how much of a deal it was, but it's a multi-million-dollar deal. I mean, at least $100 million to go over to Spotify. And I understand that eventually, I mean, he's still going to be putting up clips and putting up his show on YouTube, but eventually by September, he will be gone. He will no longer be on YouTube anymore. He will, from that point on, be on Spotify. All of his videos, all of his Joe Rogan clips, the whole 9 will be gone from YouTube. It'll be from now on forever living on Spotify. What he's doing is basically a Howard Stern move. Howard Stern was on the radio, regular radio, and then he moved to Sirius XM and blew the lid off that joint. And now his show's exclusively on Sirius. So, unfortunately, Tom, whatever he's doing, you may disagree with it.
Yeah.
But it's working. And it got him a huge deal. And I think maybe it's also the reason why he's leaving is because either one, YouTube just didn't give him a deal ever. But I also could see why that people always have an issue on YouTube in regards to monetizing certain things. And look at his stuff. He's getting millions upon millions, hundreds of millions sometimes views on just one clip alone. So, but he curses a lot. There's a lot of controversial conversations and topics that he has on the show. And I think YouTube has those bots and they have their team and there's certain things you can and cannot say and all that stuff. So I keep thinking that maybe he was like, well, Spotify is the wild, wild west. I could do whatever the hell I want over there. I could speak how I want. I could talk how I want. Let's do this. And of course, it doesn't hurt to have hundreds of millions of dollars being slammed in your face.
Yeah, hundreds of millions of dollars while the musical artists on Spotify are making pennies on the dollar for the songs they put up there.
But you got to remember, though, he built a platform that millions of people are listening to every day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of Spotify artists out there. There's a lot of artists that are on Spotify. I get that. But it's just one guy. The content is original because it's coming out of his mouth. He's not producing any extra beats. He's not doing, you see what I'm saying? There's no third party, this, that, and the thirds. There's no crazy stuff. He's just sitting there with a microphone having a conversation with somebody else about their life with no music underneath, no music bed, no crazy stuff like that. And millions of people are listening to it. Imagine the amount of people that are listening to his show going over to Spotify now. That's massive. That is massive. That's a huge move for Spotify. I think it was the smartest thing that they could have ever done. Real talk. I think that's hella smart. Congratulations, Joe Rogan. I hate you. And I don't hate you because I don't like your stuff. I love your stuff. I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous. I wish it was me because that's incredible. That's incredible.
I don't hate Joe Rogan either. I just think he's a douche.
Well, see, that's fine. If you think he's a douche, you think he's a douche. But at the same time, there's a lot of dudes out there that one thing that there was one video that I saw because there was one time I was just binge watching nothing but Joe Rogan for a minute there. and there was a video where a dude broke him down, like literally like just broke down who Joe Rogan was. And he said it so perfectly. He was like, you are like the jock, the alpha male guy, but that is actually very intelligent. You come off like you're an idiot. You look like you might just be like push-ups and rah, you know what I mean? Got my PR today, my personal record. But you're actually incredibly intelligent and you speak very well. And Joe Rogan was just like, yeah, you know, he just took it, you know? And I'm like, that is Joe Rogan. That's the reason why there's a lot of dudes out there that listen to him or that want to be like Joe. You know what I mean? They're like, you know, I just got my on it, you know, kettlebells and I just ran 300 miles and read Nietzsche and meditated and did yoga. That is Joe Rogan. And people eat that stuff up because he might go out, pound a bunch of nasty beer, go bang a couple chicks. But then after that, he's reading Nietzsche, doing yoga and smoking weed. I mean, he's like the ultimate alpha dude, you know? So anyway, sorry for giving, I'm not trying to stroke his ding dong, just saying what he has is very rare. Whereas there are other people, you know, like I've listened to Chris D'Elia's podcast a bunch of times. Congratulations. And his stuff is just wacky. There's no intelligence in it. It's just him being wacky. You see what I'm saying? It's not like he's talking about the things that are going on in the world and blah, 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 while being funny at the same time. He's just on there for an hour talking crazy.
Yeah.
And then there's guys who are like Joe Rogan, but they don't talk about anything except for, you know, today I did 500 push-ups because this is how our life should be. The reasons why you should be up at 4 a.m. every single day. America. See what I'm saying? He doesn't do that. He talks about that, but then he goes off on another tangent. It's fascinating to me. You know?
Yeah. I like Joe Rogan.
Me too. Obviously, I like him.
Here.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're not going to convince me.
I know. I'm not trying to convince you. You are definitely, most definitely entitled to your opinion. This is just mine. This is just my own take on it. You know.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad guy or like anything like that. I just think, seems like a bit of a douche canoe. But
douche canoe. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Man.
That is definitely a new one.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.